Welcome everybody. Welcome Fabian, Patrick. We got Juan, Brian. I mean, we got guys from all over the place. Andre. So let me know where you guys from. First of all, do you guys see the presentation? First of all, like, do you guys see the real webinar, like presentation and all of that? Yes. Okay, perfect. So Giuseppe, Italy. Janak, India. Simon, London, baby. Athens, Italy, Denmark. Awesome. So we have guys from all over the world. I'm super excited. This is going to be amazing. We're going to go through a lot of stuff today. And congrats on making it for this webinar. So I'm just going to put slides only so it's more comfortable. Slides only. I'm going to remove this shit. But yeah, first of all, congrats for being on this webinar. I mean, not everybody, it's not everybody who's going to take the time to just, sit down, go through this webinar, and participate with us. So the fact that you've made it through this webinar sets you already apart from 99% of most men. So my promise to you today is that I'm going to transform your dating life in the next 90 minutes. And I'm going to do it by showing you basically the whole step, the whole system. I'm going to show you how to predictably attract, obtain, and retain, 8, 9s, and 10s. Obviously 10s, I mean, there's no 10. I mean, nobody's perfect. I've never met a perfect human being. But I'm going to show you how to attract your ideal woman with consistent sex, no pullbacks, and how to do it consistently. And some of you might struggle with the fear of rejection, with awkward conversations, with, maybe some of you, you've been reading some books or watching a lot of courses and stuff like that, but it still hasn't worked, right? And so I'm going to show you how to do it on this webinar. So in this live webinar, you're going to learn basically key number 1, the new rules of the dating market and how to win big with women. Key number 2, we're going to cover how to get 3 dates per week, like clockwork, without being tall, rich, wasting your time, etc. And then key number 3 is how to completely flip the script and make girls chase for your attention. So we're going to cover all these things step by step, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And all these, everything we're going to cover here, that's not going to be available on YouTube, not going to be available on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Like, only you guys are going to have access to this. And this presentation will either be the worst webinar on dating and seduction you've ever seen, or it's going to be the best webinar on dating and seduction you've ever seen, or maybe somewhere in between. But honestly, like, if you stick till the end, you're going to be surprised because I'm going to share a lot of crazy stuff. Now, a lot of you guys, you've been, watching maybe some stuff on YouTube, like how to make girls like you, or how to, get success with women, or maybe you're watching a few dating gurus, etc. And that's okay. I've been there too. But I'm going to show you now some real pragmatic stuff that you're probably not going to see in the mainstream, in mainstream social media, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, Google, etc. And some of these secrets that I'm going to show you are not going to be available. That's just it. So I want you to stick to this webinar so I can show you everything. And these systems and methods work. Like, if you look at all my success stories, I have more than 400 plus success stories. You'll see that they all work. My clients are getting dates every week consistently. And the reason why is because I show them exactly the systems and I hold them accountable. And we have hundreds of success stories, new ones that keep coming in every week throughout the dating accelerator. And even though some of these guys were skeptics, so maybe right now you don't know me well, and maybe you're a skeptic. Maybe you're like, is this gonna work for me? Is this not, etc. Well, it's gonna work. If you put in the work, it's gonna work. So apply the systems and you'll get the results. All the systems I'm gonna show you are gonna work if you put in the work. And I'm showing all the success stories, guys, by the way, so that you guys can believe me, because I know that for some people, it takes some visual evidence for them to believe. So I'm providing you some of the visual evidence, and I'm going to keep providing it throughout the webinar so you guys can understand that this is real. We're not bullshitting you here. We're not doing some gimmicks or some tricks. Like, this is real. It works, and it's going to work for you. And I'm going to show you that it works for any guy from all ages, young or old. I've had clients who are like 60 plus years old. And I also had clients who were like 17, and it works consistently. And no matter if they're skinny, short, tall, whatever, it works. Now, I'm holding this webinar too, because we're in a period of time, we're in a time and an age where, things have been getting harder for most men. Like the dating market has been completely skewed through many things. You know, you can see the rise of, you know, sugar daddy websites and simps on the internet. You can see the rise of platforms like TikTok. I mean, TikTok is okay, but like OnlyFans, all of that. You can see all of that. And nowadays, like women, they receive, you know, attention from guys all over the world. They receive so much attention that it doesn't hold much value anymore. For most guys, like, you know, their attention is worth zero. You see what I mean? And I'm going to show you how to basically restore the value of your attention and really get the power back. And let's face it, like the dating market is getting harder, and it's getting harder by the day with social media, with all of that. It's really getting harder. So I'm going to show you how to solve that. Now, as they say, in every obstacle, there's an opportunity. But if you want to seize that opportunity, you need to understand, you know, the systems and how they work. So stay in this webinar so I can show you. Now, there's a sexual Darwinism taking place today, right? Like the dating market is, as I said, is getting more competitive. Like before, if you came back to 1955 or 1965 or whatever, before social media, you could live in a small town and have an average job and an average life and just, you know, date a beautiful woman. But nowadays, because of the internet, because of social media, because of all of that, I don't know if you guys heard of hypergamy, but basically, you know, women are getting more selective, right? Women are constantly looking for the guy who can provide the best genes and the best chances of survival for their offspring. And so with social media and with dating apps, they've been able to get, you know, they have access basically to a higher amount of options. And so it's getting more competitive. Now they're looking for that top 1%. Now, since 2008, the number of sexless men under 30 has literally tripled. It has tripled, guys. So if you look at 1989, we were at, you know, 14%, 13%, something like that. But now we're at 28%. Like 28% of guys aren't getting laid, you know? So one out of four, basically. 1 out of 4 guys is not getting laid. So that's crazy. So if you, let's say you have, you know, 3 billion guys, well, it's almost 1 billion. I mean, now we're actually at 4 billion men in the world, almost, because a few years ago, we were 7 billion on the planet, if you divide 50-50. But now, basically, there's like, let's say there's 4 billion men on the planet. Well, 1 billion isn't getting laid. You know, 1 billion is just, they're just incels, you know, involuntary celibates. And that has also increased. So it's getting crazy, guys. Times are getting crazier, and beautiful women have endless options. And most guys, it's just the opposite. So here's the good news. Like now is actually the easiest time in history to succeed with women. And I'm going to show you how, but you have to understand the right systems and you have to take advantage of them. Okay, so I'm literally giving you an opportunity here because you're not going to find these systems anywhere else. But I can only help you if you stay till the end of the presentation, because the presentation is going to be like 1 hour, 2 hours, right? And so I want you guys to stay till the end so I can show you everything. Okay, and if you stay, I'm going to give you a ton of gifts, a ton of things as well, PDFs and stuff like that. So as I said, between 1989 and 2008, the percentage of sexually inactive men went from 14% to 23, 28%, whatever. I mean, we don't care about those small percentages, but it has double or tripled. So it's crazy. So as I said, 1 in 4 guys are not having sex. And even the testosterone levels, like that was an article in Forbes, you're not the man your father was. And that's because the testosterone levels are apparently decreasing 1% per year. Basically, there's a decrease in testosterone of 1% per year. So statistically, like a 25-year-old man had 21%. So a 25-year-old man in 2000, back in year 2000 or 1990s, right, had 21 or 25% more testosterone than the same man now, basically. So it's getting crazy. Now I'm gonna show you everything, but first of all, who is this training for? Because maybe right now that's not for you. So let's see if it's for you. So the first thing is, if you're a guy who's single and you're unhappy with your relationships, this is going to be for you, right? If you think you're okay with girls, so maybe you're dating already, and maybe you're having like 1 date a month, 2 dates a month, 3 dates a month, whatever, but you don't have a clear system or a clear strategy. Well, this is going to be for you. Or maybe you have a system already, but you want to learn the new upgraded methods. You want to get to that next level, right? So even if you consider yourself pretty good with women, but you're not getting the woman you truly want and you keep settling for less, this is going to be for you. Okay, so it's for guys who want to attract any woman without having six-pack abs or fancy cars or being a millionaire, or without spending hundreds on dates before getting anywhere. Or if you're tired of the friend zone or stuff like that, well, I'm going to show you how to get to the sex zone ASAP. So you're in the right place. Now, this is not going to be some vanilla, watered down generic dating advice like you see on YouTube. And this is also not going to be some abstract spiritual woo-woo meditation or stuff like that. It's going to be deeper than that. And it's not going to be some pick-up parties bullshit as well. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you plenty of gifts and resources. I'm going to give you some of my books. I'm going to give you some crazy bonuses. Maybe some of you got those already, the free PDFs, but I'm going to give you more of those. So keep your ass in this webinar because I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to back it up. So first of all, who the fuck am I? Okay, because maybe you found me on Twitter and this is your first day of knowing me, maybe. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction so that people know about me. So basically, I'm the founder of Higher Self Circle. I became one of the world's youngest dating coach at 21 years old, and I got featured on Canadian national TV, actually, back when I was in Montreal. I'm going to show you in a few minutes the proof. I've helped more than 5,000 men through my books, through my programs, through my pages, etc., and 500 plus personal mentoring. And I held more than 10 plus live seminars, etc. I'm actually still the inner circle leader in Montreal because back in the day, I don't know if you guys knew this company. There was a company called Higher Self Circle. Called Real Social Dynamics, not Higher Self Circle. And basically, they used to do some seminars, etc. And they had some groups. And so I was the leader of that group as well back in the day. I've also interviewed world-class entrepreneurs, speakers, guests, etc. on my podcast, The Limo Show, and all of that. So I just want to give you a quick background so you can understand things better. And then we're going to dive into the systems. Okay, so I promise you, this is not going to be I'm not going to be a time waster. I'm going to show you exactly what I do and how to do it and how you can implement it into your life. So first of all, I'm going to give you a quick background. So I started learning about this since I was 14 years old. Like I've never been a dork. You have to understand, you see these coaches sometimes on YouTube and Facebook, etc. And they tell you, oh, before I was a dork, before I was a virgin, and now all of a sudden I got mentored and I have thousands of women, right? And I'm not like that. I was already not a dork when I was in high school. These are pictures of me when I was 14 years old. I was already smoking cigars, going to parties, dating chicks. I've never been a dork, So even when I was 14, I was getting laid, but not with the girls I truly want. Like I had some crushes, but I couldn't get the crushes. I could fuck like some average hoes, but I couldn't fuck like the girls that I truly, truly, truly want. So I was still kind of successful. I was still getting laid. I had my own social circle in Tunisia. So I come from Tunisia, by the way, in Africa. I had my own social circle, and I was really kind of part of the jet set there. Like I was popping bottles, at 16 years old, going to private parties, stuff like that. Like this was me at a private party in Ibiza. This was actually me with Solomon. Maybe some of you guys, let me know, guys, in the comments if you know this DJ, Solomon. Amazing DJ, by the way, amazing music. And this was me at 16 years old, literally in after parties in Ibiza and stuff like that. You see what I mean? So anyway, but at some point, in high school, I met an amazing girl that I fell in love with, and we started dating for a few weeks. So this was me when I was 16 years old, and I really thought she was the one. So at some point in high school, like in my last year of high school, I met this girl that I fell in love with. I thought she was the one, etc. So I started acting needy because my mom always raised me to be a nice gentleman. I would always buy women stuff, open the door, compliment them, try to please them, etc. Like I would send her texts like good morning, good night every single day. I would call her my princess, etc. And after a few days, unfortunately, she told me like, hey, you're nice, Limo, but I don't think I deserve you. I don't want to hurt you. I think we should stop seeing each other, etc. So in other words, it was kind of over between us. And that really pissed me off because, I thought I was good with women. I thought I could retain her because she was actually one of the most beautiful girls in high school. Arguably, maybe the most beautiful girl in high school when I was there. So I was kind of pissed off. Like I really thought she was the one. You see what I mean? So I was heartbroken, depressed, started going to the gym to feel better. I was angry at myself. And this gave me a lot of motivation to learn from my mistakes and learn more about seduction, success with women, etc. So to sum up, I was confident enough to talk to the women that were kind of below my league, but with a girl that I found really beautiful or with a crush that I had, I would simply fuck it up. I wouldn't know what to do or what to say. I was kind of a natural, but without the systems, without the strategy. So I was a natural in some way, but I didn't have the strategy. I didn't have like the finesse. You see what I mean? And so that's what I needed to learn. I knew I needed to learn this skill to become better. I wanted to have real options, real power, etc. So obviously, like some of you guys, I started surfing on the internet, trying to find solutions. You know, I became obsessed about, you know, seduction, game, etc. I started watching videos, reading books like some of those. Maybe you guys know some of those, you know, the mystery method, the game, stuff like that, right? So I started to learn about game, and things started to get better after the breakup in my first year in high school, even. You know, I was known for being a player, especially in my last year of high school. Like I was really the player in school. I was always surrounded by girls and stuff like that. And then I went to college. So I went to Canada. And that's where, you know, it kind of fell off because I didn't have any social circle there. I didn't know anybody. So when I moved to Canada for my studies, I was lost. I didn't have anything, you know, and the girls there seemed different than the girls I had in high school. It was a different culture, different, you know, I was just new in this new environment. And so it was hard for me to actually date the woman that I want, you know. And very quickly, I identified that school wasn't much for me. Like, you know, I had okay grades, but I knew I wanted to be rich. I knew I wanted to build a business. And so I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna learn from like real millionaires, you know. So I started investing in myself very early on. Like I remember my first boot camp. You can see the receipt here. Do you see the receipt? You know, I was a broke student. My first boot camp, I paid. I paid $3,000 in total, but like now you can see the subtotal of 2K. But I paid 3,000 for a boot camp when I was a student, and I could barely afford rent, and I still did it. You know, I remember it was 7 years ago. My bank account was in red of like 3,000. I was stressed out. You know, I could barely afford rent, some food, but I still paid it with my credit card. And I remember it was super stressful. But that boot camp with one of my mentors literally changed my life because the epiphanies I had there, it was well worth the price, honestly. And then I went through some seminars and stuff like that. I read, you know, hundreds of books, literally. I'm still reading books every week. You know, I started my first business, e-commerce business when I was 18. So I'm not one of those dating coaches who like they only do dating coaching, you know, all their life. No, I've started other businesses, you know, before this. I was doing like some e-commerce consulting. I've had many successful e-commerce businesses. I used to have a watch brand called Don Padron. You know, I used to have also a shop, a bracelet shop called Limotti, Limotti.com. So Limo, Limotti. I wanted to sound Italian, so I like Limotti, you know, like, anyway, like Giuseppe Zanotti. I don't know if you know the brand, but I was like Limotti. But anyways, I started, you know, some brands and stuff like that. And as I said, I appeared on the Canadian national TV for a seduction documentary when I was 20, back in Montreal. You know, you can see some screenshots of the documentary. You know, they were basically filming me in the street, kissing girls and going out and doing seminars. It was crazy. I was also modeling for 2 years, by the way. So I was a model. I learned a lot about women there because you can learn a lot about, you know, how hot models think, how, you know, beautiful women think, and the fashion industry. So that also gave me other perceptions of reality, especially female psychology. And then I gave multiple seminars, live boot camps, etc. I held, you know, live seminars consistently for 12 months. I was doing live seminars like monthly and gave plenty of boot camps. And I still host boot camps, by the way, but only with VIP clients. And I do one every 2 months. So we're going to have an upcoming one, by the way, in Warsaw in November. And we had one in Vienna 2 weeks ago. Okay. And I like showing up to parties in limousines. That's also one of my signature. I like to always show up to party in limousine. So to sum up, I went from being a bit shy, no strategy, to having predictable success with women. These are some of my female friends and some women I've been with over the years. I'm also a DJ. I've been DJing for 6 years now, mainly house music, techno, etc. So as you can see, I do many things. I have many facets. Like I'm a DJ, I do this, I do that, I do many things. Now I'm traveling the world, making money online, investing, etc. And so that's basically who I am. Now, some of the coaches you see on Facebook and Instagram right now are actually my mentees. Like I'm the coach of coaches. Like I've coached some of the guys who coach on Facebook. Like some of the guys that maybe that you might be thinking of, that you see on Facebook and doing some of my posts, the same kind of posts as I do. Those are literally some of my students, and I've traveled to over 40 plus countries and counting. So you can see the proof. I mean, a lot of guys say, oh, so where are the girls? If you're a dating coach, so show me the girls. Well, I can show you the girls till tomorrow. I can show you screenshots of, a girl naked with me holding the book and taking a picture. I can show you that till tomorrow. I have plenty of receipts. So I've been with hundreds of girls, traveled the world, etc. So if you stay in this webinar, I'm going to show you how to get similar results. And wouldn't it be worth it if you could just date 3 amazing women next month? Or wouldn't it be worth it to stay in this webinar? What if you found a hot and loyal girlfriend, that you love spending time with, right? So stay in this webinar, because if it's worth it to you to date 3 amazing women next month or to have a girlfriend, then this webinar is for you. And like Lars is one of my students. The first 4 weeks, he got like 5 dates in 5 days. Okay, so by the end of this presentation, if you use these systems correctly, you're going to start seeing the same results. You're going to start seeing women getting emotionally and sexually addicted to you. And I'm going to show you how to do it, right? They're going to want to have sex more than you do. Like, for example, Adelina, this is a girl I dated in Bucharest when I was living in Bucharest. I lived in Bucharest for 4 months. And this girl was like sexually addicted. Like, hey, I want you to fuck me. She was texting me. You can see the screenshot. I want you to fuck me. Why you cannot? That's not fair, blah, blah, blah. And so she was chasing my attention. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, you need to understand, first of all, and this is my first piece of advice. Like, we're going to start actually the teaching now, by the way, because now I gave you the kind of the background, but now we're going to start the teaching. So you have to understand how attention relates to sex. Like, typically what happens is, as men, what we do is we give attention to get sex, and then women gives us sex to keep getting that attention. So usually it's attention into sex, sex into attention, and that's how it works. That's how it all works, literally. Now, I'm going to show you how to use this so to make them, kind of addicted to you sexually and emotionally. You're going to become the drug she can get enough of, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But you have to understand these principles that, attention is our currency. It's our currency as a man. And for women, sex is their currency. So for you, if you want to win, you have to learn how to weaponize your attention. And I'm going to show you how as well. Now, the problem is there's a new economy of attention nowadays. Because nowadays it's getting more difficult because women, as I said before in the first slides, they're getting attention for no reason all the time with social media, with dating apps. Right, as I said before, nowadays our attention is worth nothing. Like with platforms like Instagram, sugar daddy website, etc. It's never been easier for women to monetize their beauty and receive unlimited attention. Like you can see, for example, this rapper Bad Batty, she made 1 million in 6 hours with OnlyFans. Imagine in 6 hours, just by posting a picture of her titties, she made $1 million profiting from simps. Profiting from guys who just give their attention away and their money away. So women now are profiting from this. Women are getting unlimited attention without giving any sex in return, right? And not every woman does this. Obviously, I'm not going to say every woman is on OnlyFans or whatever. But even if she's not on OnlyFans, if she's on social media, well, if she's still getting DM'd by guys. If she's on Tinder, she's getting dozens of matches per day. Right, so male attention is hyperinflated. You see what I mean? And you have to restore that value, because as I said, as a man, your attention is your currency. And so if the currency is hyperinflated, you have to do something to restore the value of it. You see what I mean? Because if something hyperinflates, the choice are either you're going to do something to restore the value of that currency. So if the euro is hyperinflated, well, you're going to have to pay more dollar. You're going to have to pay more dollars, or you're going to have to do something else to restore the value. But basically, if the attention of men is hyperinflated, you have to do something to restore that value. And so I'm going to show you how in a few minutes, but you have to understand those concepts. I'm just going to check the comments. Robert says brilliant observation, Limo, etc. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So how society tells you it's supposed to work. So society, here's the problem. Society is going to tell you, like, get a good job, get a nice house, get shredded, all of that. And then you become that cool guy that women want to date, right? But I'm going to tell you it's not true. And I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you're actually ready to take the red pill, but the choice is yours. But we're going to take it anyway. Here's the thing, man. Like most men believe that women are super expensive and they're actually hard to get. But that's not true. Like these are lies that trap millions of men mentally. The truth is actually the opposite. Like getting amazing women is actually easy. And it's cheaper than what everyone thinks. Like I remember I was talking to a guy on Facebook and he told me, oh, you know, it's expensive for me to date girls, so I don't date girls. And I asked him why. Why is that expensive? Like, you know, what makes it expensive? And then he said, oh, because I have to, you know, bring her to the restaurant, buy her drinks and etc. And probably I'll have to get her on like 2-3 dates of that till I fuck her. So it's expensive. And then I said, no, man. Like, why don't you bring her to your place, or why don't you do like why don't you just have one glass of wine instead of like inviting her for dinner and all of that, right? So you have to understand, like a lot of guys, they think like it's too expensive. They think they need to go on 5 dates before they fuck, which is not true. You know, the truth is the opposite. And in terms of the money, because a lot of people think money is going to save them. Well, it surely didn't work for Bezos, isn't it? It surely didn't work for Bill Gates, isn't it? They're billionaires with a B. And they still get left and divorced. And if even billionaires are left for another man, well, guess what? You will too. So the man worth more than 100 billion was left for another man, like Bezos. You know. So if you still think money is the answer, it's not. You know, it's not going to be the answer. Now, most men believe that they also need to be super good looking, tall, etc., to get girls, right? And that's not true as well. Look at all these celebrities. They're pretty handsome. They're pretty tall and strong, right? Brad Pitt. Channing Tatum, right? Will Smith, right? And guess what? It didn't work for them too, right? And they were famous. They were celebrities, right? So you don't need to be famous. You don't need to be tall or have money, etc. Because even if you do, that's not the answer. You will still get left behind, right? So newsflash, the mainstream narratives do not work. Like the fact that you need to have a lot of money and a supercar and this and that, it helps. I'm not saying it doesn't help. But it's not the end all and be all, right? So most men are trapped in the dating matrix. And this is what most guys are doing. Let's look at what most guys are doing, right? They go out, blow their money on alcohol to get drunk. They hope to get more confident and hopefully get lucky or run into the one. That's one of the first archetypes. Now, also, sometimes they're just waiting. They're waiting for their magical Disney moment where, like, by luck or by chance, they're going to stumble into the perfect girl, right? Maybe through their friends, through school, at a party, by chance at work, right? And what they're going to do as well is they're going to create multiple accounts on dating apps. Maybe they're going to have Facebook dating and Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and Badoo and all these apps, right? And they're going to keep paying for subscriptions. They're going to keep texting dead ends and wasting their time. That's what most men do, literally, right? And most guys are getting this type of advice, like just be yourself, just be nice, get a good job and make a lot of money. When the time is right, you'll find the right girl. Just focus on yourself. You'll naturally attract her, right? Make friends with a lot of girls, and then one of them will like you, right? Work out, get a cool haircut, and that's it. Or if you've been into this for a while, maybe you're getting this advice, like go do a professional photo shoot, change your bio on Tinder, learn a few lines, and then you'll get dates. Or just approach and focus on sexualizing, and then you'll get dates. Or if you love yourself enough, if you meditate and do some type of ritual and love yourself and do some breathing, then you're going to get girls. Or recently, with the rise of Andrew Tate, some of you guys know Andrew Tate. And by the way, I love the guy. I'm not against the guy. But some of you guys think, oh, okay, just smoke cigars, become alpha, train martial arts, and then that's it. Girls are going to come to you, literally. No, and it doesn't work like that, right? I follow this type of advice, and while some hold some truth, right, it hasn't solved the problem. Right, it didn't get me the consistency and predictability that I want, and you can only get that through systems. So let's dive in right now. Let's give you guys the systems, and these are brand new systems, field tested, scientifically proven, and those are basically proven methods. And as I said, I've tested them with a few hundred guys, so it works. Now, 4 things before we dive into those. First of all, take a lot of notes because I'm going to go through things fast, so you want to pay attention. The second thing is it wasn't take a lot of notes. Sorry, it was focus. So close all your tabs, etc. But don't get distracted. Like if you have your phone, just turn it off. That way you can really focus. Third thing, ask me questions too, because I'm going to look at the box. I'm going to look at the chat box. So if you ask me questions, I'm going to be able to see that. Okay. Now, number 4, you have to stay till the end to completely understand how it works, because I'm going to give away some bonuses also at the end. Okay. So this webinar is going to be relatively short. Sorry, it's going to be like 90 minutes or something. But if you really can't do that, if you really can't focus for a few minutes, then it's probably not for you. So I want you guys to be focused. Okay. Please be focused. That way we can really move forward. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you plenty of bonuses and plenty of things. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why there's like a green thing here. I don't know what happened. Maybe I did like the wrong annotation. 1 second. I'm going to get the eraser. Yeah. Okay. It's all good. Just going to put the mouse now. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to give you plenty of resources if you stay till the end, plenty of crazy bonuses, etc. Now, first thing I want to discuss is that we're not here to be pickup artists, because a lot of you guys, maybe you've been following up like some PUAs or whatever, but there's a big difference between what I do and the pickup industry and the dating community as a whole. Like we're not here to learn lines and recite some gimmicks, etc. Right? Like learning pickup artist lines and techniques, it's easy. Everybody can do it. It's cheap. And it's not going to help you long term. But what's really going to move the needle is building your character as a man and doing the real work and understanding the principles instead of reciting lines. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. And one of my previous mentors, I'm going to remember this my whole life. He told me, I remember that was on bootcamp, by the way. My first bootcamp that I paid $3,000 for, that's what he said to me. He said, you can either work to be an excellent man or an excellent manipulator. And it would take you about the same effort, Limo. He told me that. You know, you can either work to be an excellent man or an excellent manipulator. And it would take you about the same effort. And here's the reason why. Because, you know, pickup artists, they're willing to sacrifice who they truly are. And they're willing to sacrifice their opinions to fuck with a girl. You know, they're not really congruent. It comes from a foundation of neediness, right? And usually they end up disappointing the woman involved. But when you're an excellent man, when you're congruent in your personality and who you are, like quality women are delighted to be with you. Right? Because when you're an excellent manipulator, when you're a PUA or you start reciting lines, maybe you're inspiring short-term emotions and the girl is going to hook up to you on occasions, but it's not sustainable. Like she's going to spend a few hours with you and then she's going to see the holes in the facade and then she's going to find out that you're full of shit and she's going to end up being disgusted with herself because she knows that you're not the person she perceived to be in the first place. She perceived you to be, you know, like in the beginning, you were seducing her with lines and stuff like that, but then you ran out of lines and, you know, the mask fell off. You see what I mean? And so most so-called pickup artists, they revert to some of the most pathetic losers once they become involved in a long-term relationship. And usually it doesn't work out really well for them. So that's why I want you to be part of the 1%. Like don't become a perpetual manipulator. I want you to generally work on becoming a quality man. And it starts with your frame. It starts with a paradigm shift. Right? A real identity change is required for you to get the best results in this area. Because if you could get the results you want by being who you are now, you would be there already. So if you want different results, you need to become a different person. If you want to change your life, you need to change yourself. You know, and that's the harsh reality. And no coach is going to tell you. Most coaches are going to tell you, oh, you know, don't change yourself, just learn some lines and that's it. You'll see. It's gonna be okay. You know, but no, you need to change yourself. Okay, you don't want to be faking who you are, and you don't want to be fake high value. You want to build your value. You want to be the real deal, right? So it all starts with yourself. Now, I'm going to give you this sheet. I'm going to give you a sheet called the Know Thyself Mission. Okay, this is a sheet that I've developed through the years, which is gonna basically it's gonna lead you to have a really strong sense of who you are and who you want to become. Because when you truly have a strong sense of who you are and who you want to become, that's when you attract the right things into your life. You'll see that the people who keep attracting the wrong women or who keep being broke, that's because they really didn't define who they are and who they want to become. And Aristotle said it thousands of years ago. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. So you have to start by really defining what kind of man are you, right? What kind of man you are? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of partners do you want to have for that life? And what actions are you willing to take to get to that life, right? You have to be very clear with yourself. What kind of man am I, right? And start thinking deeply. Okay, what do I want? What do I truly want? So instead of doing maybe some fake ass job that you hate doing, what would you like to do with your life? If you had $1 billion right now and you could do anything in the world, what would you do? Right? If money wasn't an issue, how would you spend your time? Right? If you could do anything and nobody judged you, like how would you live your dating life? Would you have multiple women? Would you have a harem of women, threesomes, whatever? Or would you still have one girlfriend? I don't know. Everybody's different. But you have to define the version of yourself that you truly stand for, right? And that's how you also strengthen your frame, by the way. Most men have a very weak frame because they have a very weak sense of who they are. Like they never spent time, thinking about those deep questions, right? And there's an old pimpin' adage that says pimpin' has to be in you, not on you, which means you never want to be, you never want to get girls for others. You want to get girls for yourself, or you never want to get success or money for others or to impress others. You want to do it for yourself. So pimpin' has to be in you, not on you. You need to define a strong why. Why are you doing this? Let me ask you a question. Why are you on this webinar? Put it down in the chat. Like, why are you on this webinar? Literally, like, what's your goal? Put it in the chat right now. What's your goal? And we're going to talk about this in a few minutes too. But you need to define a strong why, okay? Not for other people, but for others, right? There's a book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Please put in the chat what your goals are. But, start with why. So first, define why you want to do things, like why do you want to date women, why do you want to get rich, etc. Because then the how and the what is much easier once you have the why. When you figure out the why, it becomes easier to work on the how and the what. Now there's two types of motivations usually. There's either higher self motivations or there's lower self motivations. Now let me give you an example. So usually, like the lower self motivations, they're dependent on other people. They're dependent on external validation, external things. So for example, a lower self-motivation is, I just want to fuck bitches to impress my friends, or I just want to be a playboy so everybody can know I'm successful, whatever. And then the higher self-motivation is, well, I want to become a better man. I want to become a more charismatic man. Or, one of the higher self-motivation that I have personally is I want to become a great father someday. I want to transfer on these skills to my kids, right? A lower self-motivation could be, I want to take revenge of my girlfriends who cheated on me in high school. Right? That's not a good motivation to do this, right? So elite playboys, like real guys who are good with women, they have a strong why. Like they're not just in it for the cheap thrills. They're not in it for the validation of others. Same thing, the people who really make money, they're not there just for the money. They're there because they want to make an impact. They're there because they want to serve people to the highest level they can. I wouldn't be on this webinar if it was just for the money and stuff like that. Like I'm inspired also to obviously change lives and make an impact in the world, right? So that's what you want to do. Now, Brian says, for now, my goal is to become a killer trader with 2.5 million in funding. Main says to become maximally inhibited with the most intimately beautiful women, blah, blah, blah. I want to have control over myself, to not have to spend time doing things, etc. I like your answers, guys. That's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Those are great motivations. And you want those motivations to, you want to have higher self-motivations, not like cheap motivation of just like, I just want to fuck girls. That's not a real motivation that's going to get you through the hard times. If you want to be consistent in this, like if you want to be consistent in your success with women, you need to have a strong why, Now, after you strengthen your frame, after you strengthen your paradigm and you understand those fundamental realities of the dating market, the second step is to build your value. Because if you want the premium woman, if you want top tier woman, if you want yeah, do you guys still hear me? Sorry, there was I don't know what happened, but yeah. Do you guys still hear me? Do you guys see the screen? Let me know if you can see the screen. Do you guys see the screen? Let me know in the chat. Yes, we're back. Do you see the screen? Okay, perfect. So I was saying, if you want the premium woman, like you have to position yourself as a premium man, because you have two options in the dating market. Either you can be, cheap, mass adopted, made to fit in. You're like a Toyota in the sexual market. You're not super high value. You have average income, average physique. You're like, you don't have a lot of seduction skills. Or you can be a Lambo. You can be, premium. Like you have a nice financial situation, a nice job, a nice career, you have a nice physique, you're working on yourself, you have a nice social network, great intellectual resources, you're learning every day, right? So if you're like that, you're going to attract the premium woman. And 99% of men, like they're just, first of all, they're blue pill, like they're not red pill, they're not aware of those realities. So they're not going to even be on this call. They're not going to have the motivation to be on this call. They're going to chase girls all the time, no purpose, no focus, no discipline, no real sacrifice. And the 1%, those are the people I want to be surrounded with. Like they're red pill, they understand like the fundamental realities of the world. They chase growth, they have a purpose, they have a vision, deep focus, strong discipline, and they make sacrifices. And that's how you win, guys. There's no secret. There's no streak here too. If you want to be high value, you have to engage in the right behaviors. Like, how fool is it to think that, by engaging in average outcomes, you're going to have extraordinary behaviors? Like, only a fool would think that way. Like, if you want to be extraordinary, you need to engage in extraordinary behaviors. You can't be average and have extraordinary outcomes with women, right? So here's how the dating market really works. You have to understand that, the dating marketplace is like kind of any type of marketplace, really. There's an offer and there's a demand, right? It's kind of an economy in itself. Like, men want the most desirable women and women want the most desirable men. Like, there's this imaginary sexual marketplace going on. So, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He's going to have a higher value than a random average Joe, obviously, because he has more status, more income, more social proof, more desirability in the market, stuff like that. It's normal, right? So you yourself, you have to start seeing yourself as a product in the sexual marketplace, because you are, whether you know it or not, you have a certain value. And that's what we call your sexual market value, right? And so you have to work on hiring that value, because women go after men with higher status. Like they want a guy who's higher on the social ladder, who is respected by other men. Like, fundamentally, women want to be with men that other women desire and other men admire. I repeat, women want to be with men that other women desire and other men admire. And if you can be that way, you're going to have more than enough options, right? And here are the things that affect your sexual market value. So your status, your income, your desirability in the market, your physical fitness, your personality, your game, right? Your seduction skills, your systems also is part of that. And then your alphaness. So how dominant are you and how strong are you in your frame, in your mindset as well? And you have to understand that it's good that you're a man. It's actually good that you're a man. We are lucky to be men, because we age like wine. And the reason why is because we peak at a later stage in life. Like, women, usually they're going to peak around 20, 25, something like that. But after 30, it's the decline. But for us, it's actually better, because we're going to peak around 35, 40, and we're going to be at the top, So men age like wine, women age like milk. And so it's good news, because if you keep improving your value, if you keep working on yourself, if you keep gathering social resources, intellectual resources, financial resources, etc., at some point you're going to be part of the 1% if you have that discipline and that consistency to get shit done, right? Now, one thing, a lot of you guys, maybe you don't want to date multiple women. Maybe you want to be a good family man, right? You want to have one chick. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you want to be a good family man one day, you better be a good player first, honestly. Like, if you want to have a good long-term relationship, you want to have a wife or whatever, it's better to be a player first and then monogamous later, or then having like a long-term thing later, because then you can learn from what women to avoid. You can learn from the mistakes. You can be more discerning when picking the right partner. Like, most men, what they're going to do is they're going to rush into a relationship from the get-go. Like, some men, they never dated a woman outside of their high school crush. Like, some men, they keep dating the same girl all their lives. Like, they have a high school crush, they marry her, etc. And that's fine. I don't judge them. But I think it's like, honestly, if you want to have more references and you want to learn more about women, etc., it's better to have plenty first. It's better to come from a place of abundance, date many, and then find the one you truly like out of the many you've dated. It's always better, because real wisdom can only come from experience. And if you want to have some wisdom with women and learn from your mistakes, that's the only way. Yes, that's one thing I want to say. Now, let's talk about the systems. I know you guys are excited to learn all these, like the systems, etc. So we're going to dive into that right now. First of all, before we start, let me know if you guys are enjoying the webinar so far. Like, if you guys are learning a few things, getting a few epiphanies if you like it, because that's going to motivate me to actually keep the webinar. So Steve says it's interesting so far. Yes, very much. Okay. Janice says whoop whoop. Okay. Absolutely great. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed so far. And I'm guys, you guys are here. So let's talk about how the dating funnel works, first of all. So you have to understand that dating is a bit like sales, guys. Like it's actually a bit like sales. There's a lot of similarities. And 80% of your results are usually going to come from 20% of your actions, right? And that's why within my systems, we really tackle the most efficient actions that you can take to get really all the outcomes. Because most guys, they're all over the place. They're on dating app, they're approaching hundreds of women at the mall. They're doing many things that are inefficient and they're not getting the results they want. So I'm going to show you how to really be efficient. Okay. And there's a great book called Atomic Habits. I recommend everybody reading it. It says you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, right? I repeat, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And that's very important to understand. Okay, so let's dive into the funnels. So first of all, there's many ways to date women, but the first way is the live dating funnel. And the live dating funnel is basically how you're going to approach women in real life and actually date them, attract them, etc. So first of all, we're going to start with cold approach, right? So if you think about cold approach, like if you see a beautiful woman in the street, right, and you want to approach her, it's always going to start by an approach. So you're going to approach her, then you're going to have a conversation. So some women are going to reject you from the approach. Like they're actually going to say, oh, no, sorry, or no, I have a boyfriend. And they're not even going to engage in a conversation. And some will. So the next step after the approach is the conversation. Then after a conversation, you have the next step, which is contact close. So after you get a good conversation with a woman, which I'm going to show you how to do it, then you're going to close her, and then you're going to potentially date her, and then you're going to have sex. That's usually how the funnel works with the cold approach, for example. You approach a woman you don't know, then you get into a conversation, then you get her contact, or sometimes you can skip the contact. Sometimes you can go on an instant date. So sometimes you don't even need to get her number. You can instantly go on a date with her on the spot. So that happens too, and I teach you how to do that too. But then you go on a date, and then you sex close. Okay, so approach, conversation, contact close, date, sex close. That's the live dating funnel. Now, you also have the online dating funnel. And the online dating funnel is kind of similar because it also starts with a DM, right? You start by DMing girls the proper way, and I'm going to show you how. And then from the DM, you get into a conversation. Then from the conversation, you take her contact, then you date, and then you close, right? So there's always a funnel, right? And sometimes you're going to need to approach 100 women to get to 40 conversation, to close 12 girls, and as a contact, and then to get to 6 dates and to fuck 3 girls. Like, it's also a numbers game. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're not going to be compatible with everybody. Sometimes you're going to approach 10 girls, 5 are going to hate you, 5 are going to love you. And that's the name of the game. Same thing with online. Sometimes you're going to DM 100 girls, maybe 30 are going to reply, and then 10 are going to accept to go on a date with you when you propose to them. And then 4 are going to show up, and then you have sex with 2. You see what I mean? So you have to understand that it's kind of a funnel. So you need to reverse engineer your success with women as well and understand the funnel. So there's actually a sheet called the Dating Success Engineering Sheet. So let me share that with you real quick. So Surojit says, what about retention after sex close? Yeah, also that after. We're going to dive into that later also. But let me show you this sheet. This is going to be very interesting, guys, so you can understand. And I'm going to give you a new perspective here. 1 second. It's just going to refresh. I'm going to show you how it works and how the funnel works and how to reverse engineer your success with women. This is actually something that I give to my clients too, actually, to kind of reverse engineer in their head what they need to do to get to their goals. Now, these numbers might be scary, but I'm gonna explain to you how it all works. Okay, so this is the funnel for like a cold approach funnel, for example. So let me know, guys, how many women do you want to date in the next 30 days? Let me know in the comments. In the next 30 days, how many women would you like to date? Let me know, Surojit or Sasan or whatever. 13, okay. It's actually not date, it's actually have sex with, because date, it would be more. But let's say you want to have sex, okay, with 3 new girls in the next 30 days, okay? Well, it all because, you know, as I said, like the game is depending it's a numbers game, so it depends on also like your statistics, the statistics that you have, like on your close rate. Like as I said, dating is a bit like sales, so it depends also on your skills, on your close rate. Like if you're not skilled, you're not going to get the same close rate as a guy who's skilled, right? It's normal. So let's talk about this. So let's say you want to fuck 3 new girls in the next 30 days, right? And let's assume, I don't know if you see this, the 50% here. Let's assume, okay, that you have a 50% chance of having sex after a date. If you have a 50% chance of having sex after a date and you want to fuck 3 new girls, then you need to go on 6 dates at least to fuck 3 new girls, because you have a 50% conversion rate. So on 6 dates, you would fuck 3 girls. Now, let's say you have a 20% date conversion rate after a conversation. So let's say that after a conversation, only 20% of women are going to agree to come on a date with you, which means that, you know, out of 10 girls, like there's only going to be 2 who are going to agree to come on a date with you. So if you want to date 6 girls and you have a 20% date conversion rate, it would take you 30 conversations to get to those 6 dates, assuming that you have a 20% conversion rate, because you're not every woman is going to accept, and maybe you have this low conversion rate. Now, I know that might seem abstract, but this is true. Like this is how it works. Now, you might have higher conversion rates. So maybe your conversion rate is 50%. So let's put 50. So if your conversion rate is 50%, then you only need to talk to 12 chicks to get to 6 dates, right? And then you only need 6 days to fuck your goal of to fuck 3 girls. You see what I mean? So you see how this works? It depends on your conversion rates. Like if nobody has 100% conversion rates. Like even the best seducer on the planet is gonna have like maybe a 50, 70% conversion rate, right? So that's the thing. And then you have the conversation conversion rate after the approach. So not every woman is gonna accept to have a conversation with you after you approach her. Maybe she's gonna reject you from the first sentence you say. Maybe you say, hey, I saw you, you looked interesting. And then just after that, she says, oh, sorry, I have to go, I'm not interested, right? And so you can't even get into a conversation if she does that, right? So because of that, right, and depending on this conversion rate, that's gonna impact how many conversations you've had and how many dates you have. So it depends on that, also on that percentage. So let me put the percentage back, okay, 20%. So to come back to what I was saying, let's say you have the goal of fucking 3 new girls, okay? And you have a 50% chance of fucking them on the first date. That means it would take you 6 dates to fuck 3 girls because you have a 50% chance. Now, let's say you have a 20% date conversion rate after a conversation, which means that after conversating with 10 girls, only 2 are gonna actually say yes to come on a date. Then it would take you 30 conversations to get to 6 dates. Now, let's say you have a 50% conversation conversion rate, which means that after the approach, only 1 girl out of 2, only 50% of the girls are going to accept to have a conversation with you. That means that it would take you 60 approaches to get to 30 conversations, to get to 6 dates, to get to 3 girls you actually fuck, you actually penetrate with your dick. See what I mean? So that's how you reverse engineer your success with women. Now, I know these numbers are high, and these are a little bit higher than the usual. I'm just giving you like the worst case scenario. Usually, like if you approach like 20 girls, you're gonna have more than that. But I'm just giving, I've added a margin of safety, by the way. This is a margin of safety. I've added it too. So these numbers are inflated, but you have to understand how to reverse engineer that. You have to understand that if you want to fuck 3 girls, well, you're going to have to get yourself into like 6 dates. And if you want to get yourself into 6 dates, well, you probably have to propose to, I don't know, 20 girls to come on a date, because only a few are going to actually show up. And then to get those girls on to propose to these girls the date, you need to get into conversations with them, which is not going to happen if they reject you just after you approach them. And so you have to understand how this works, like the funnel. Same thing online, by the way. Online, like same thing. Like it starts with a DM, and then you have the conversation. And then after the conversation, you're going to propose the date. Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no. And so, you know, there's different types of funnels, but you need to understand fundamentally that it's also a numbers game, and it takes some repetition. Now, let me come back to the slides, okay? But I'm telling you this because this is not magic. I want to be realistic with you, because a lot of guys, a lot of coaches, they're gonna paint this idea like everything is magic, etc. But no, it's also a numbers game, right? So I'm giving you the facts. Now let's talk about some of the blunders, okay, that you will face maybe sometimes. And Edgar says that's a full-time job. Yeah, there's a way to fix that. Okay, there's a way to talk to women, etc. The proper way, so that you can have higher conversion rates. But ultimately, like, it's also a numbers game. Guys, like, there's not going to be a world where you cannot get rejected by women. Like, every guy here is going to get rejected by women for the rest of his life. It's normal. Me too. I get rejected too all the time. But I also get a lot of success all the time, because I'm willing to get those rejections to get the success. The guys who are willing to get the rejections to get the success are the guys who win. It's like in sales. You're never going to have 100% sales close, right? It's impossible. But you can hire your chances, and I'm going to show you how. Okay? So that's the thing. Now, here are the most common dating blunders, okay, that some of you face. So the first dating blunder is that you don't have enough volume. Like, simply, like, you're just approaching 2 girls per week, and you think that's going to get you to your goals if you want to date. Like, let's say you want to date 2 girls per week. You think that by just approaching 2, that's it, you've done your work. No, you need to approach more. Like, what I tell my clients is you need to at least approach 20 girls per week to experience any substantial results. Like, you can do it every day a little bit, like maybe 2, 3 girls a day, or maybe you can stack them on the weekends, or go out once a week at night, or even online. You can do that online from any source. You want to keep the pipeline full from any source, whether from online, from cold approach, from whatever. But you need to talk to at least 20 girls if you want to date weekly. Now, if you don't want to date weekly, that's okay. If you just want to date like 1 chick a month, then okay, you can approach less women. But if you want to date weekly, well, you need to approach and have conversations with women weekly. Now, blunder number 2 is some of you guys have negative self-fulfilling prophecies. Like, you start approaching girls, and maybe they say they have a boyfriend. Maybe they all say they have a boyfriend. And then you start to believe that they're rejecting you because you're not good looking, or because you're not attractive, or you're not charismatic enough, right? So you start making those self-fulfilling prophecies because of those repeated failures. And so because you have repeated failures, you start to attract, failure. Because in your head, you're like, I've done it so many times, it doesn't work, so why would it work now? And subconsciously, you kind of self-sabotage yourself. A lot of you guys have that, okay? Now, blunder number 3 is some of you guys, you don't iterate what you do. You keep doing the same thing over and over with no change at all. Maybe you've been using the same texting lines, or you've been using the same approach. Like, you're always approaching women the same way. You're always saying the same thing. So there's no iteration. You're not progressing. You're just stagnating. And to be frank, like, there's no stagnation. You either progress or you regress. So honestly, a lot of you guys, just because you're doing the same thing, you just get the same result. There's no iteration to that. Okay, so that's why you need to have efficient systems, okay, in place, because of all these reasons. And once you understand the funnels, and once you understand all of that, you can now understand why you need systems. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of my systems that I have, and those are some of the systems that my clients use as well. So you have to understand there's 3 main funnels, 3 main systems, really. Right? After you master your mind and your frame and your psychology and female psychology, then in terms of pragmatic action, there's like 3 main ways to get women. It's either going to be cold approach. So during daytime, for example, in the street, at a mall, at a shop, at a grocery store, at the gym, whatever. So cold approach during daytime, or cold approach during nighttime. So at a bar, at a venue, at a restaurant, at a party, that's also nighttime. So that's for cold approach. And then from there, well, you can either have an instant date, a phone number. Maybe you're going to pull a girl instantly, so an instant pull. So maybe you're going to meet a girl at a bar, and then instantly she's going to you're going to bring her to your place. That happened to me dozens and dozens of times. I met a girl at a party, and then we end up going home together, right? And so that's one outcome. Then you can have instant date or phone number. Now, from there, I mean, you're going to have sex, right? So either you pull her back home, or maybe you have a date after you get her phone number, and then you have sex, then you close, right? So that's one of the funnels. It's like the cold approach funnel. So you meet a girl during daytime or nighttime, then you have one of these 3 outcomes. So either instant pull, phone number, or instant date. And then either you're gonna schedule another date with her, like from grabbing her phone number, or you're gonna pull her back home directly. Okay, and then you have sex. That's one of the funnels that we're gonna master. Now, the second thing is online. So online, honestly, what I recommend, guys, is Instagram. Like, Instagram is the best dating app. Like, dating apps and all of that, it's not, I mean, it's going to make you waste a bunch of time. Unless you pay for Tinder Gold and all of that, it's going to make you waste a bunch of time. And Instagram is really the best long term. Now, I'm not saying don't use dating apps. You can still use them sometimes, but Instagram is more efficient in the long run. And also, that leads to the third point, which is social circle. Like, if you want to really thrive long term, you need to build a social circle. You need to architect a lifestyle that allows you to retain women. And so at some point, like, if you know you're going to stay in a city for more than a few months, like if you know you're going to stay in a city long term, it's all in your advantage to scale your network, to build your entourage there, to surround yourself with beautiful women and have female friends, to build a powerful online presence that allows you to attract more people. Right. So there's a lot of connections between online presence and social circle as well, because you can use one to fuel the other. But ultimately, those are the three main systems, guys, like cold approach, online, social circle. And you can get dates and you can get an abundance of women through these three things. And if you master these three, you're going to be successful for the rest of your life. You're never going to run out of women. And these are basically real life social hacking systems. I'm going to give you like real systems that you're going to be able to use step by step. You just copy paste them. Right? And you copy paste them without reciting lines, but by understanding the structure, the principles behind it. Because I don't want you to be a robot and recite some lines. I want you to understand the communication principles and the structure behind them so you can replicate that on your own. Okay. Now, on Instagram, for example, this is what my DMs look like. You can see like girls just texting me every single time, you know, because I put in the work, first of all, like I have an efficient system. So it's not like magic that they're texting me. I want to say that right off the bat. But because of my system, I'm able to get DMs like that. I'm able to get women who, you know, chase my attention, etc. By the way, follow me on Instagram if you haven't yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my book, Playboy Secret, if you post a story on Instagram of us being on the webinar. So if you post a story on Instagram of us being on the webinar and you tag me on Instagram, I will offer you my book Playboy Secret, literally. I will offer you my book. It's 37 euros. It's like 60 pages or more. And you're going to get this book for free if you tag me on a story on Instagram. But you can follow me. If you don't want to do this, that's okay. But you won't get my book. But you can tag me on Instagram if you want. Anyway, let's talk about, you know, cold approach and verbal systems. So the first system that I want you to master really is the cold approach system. Because as we've seen right here, right, that's one of the main systems. Like, you need to master this skill of just seeing a woman in your day-to-day life, approaching her, seducing her, getting a date, and then being able to close at the end, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that, because real seduction happens in real life, right? It doesn't happen by text, right? And I'm sure you're seeing some beautiful women passing by in your daily life. Like, I'm sure some of you, you're walking in your city, you're seeing some beautiful women passing by, but for some reason, you don't approach them. For some reason, you're not able to convert them. Well, that's why you need to master the skill set, because if not, you're going to be dependent on dating apps. You're going to be a one-trick pony. Most guys, they're a one-trick pony. Like, they just do online, or they just do cold approach, or they just do social circle. But ideally, you want to be skilled in all of them, right? And the first skill to master is cold approach, right? It's the first step. And so that's one thing. And so if you want consistent and predictable results in this area, well, you need to master this skill set. So that's one thing. And this skill set allowed me to attract, you know, dozens and dozens of women myself. And I'm going to show you how in a few minutes. Okay. But each and every woman is unique. Like, don't expect to recite lines and have the same outcomes with every woman. It doesn't exist. Like, the pickup industry has fooled you. The pickup industry has told you that you can recite a script. You have like a sexualization script, or you have this escalation script with some stuff, and then that's it. You're gonna be successful with every woman. But no, you know, like, every woman is different. So you need to be able to move. You need to be able to like calibrate, right? So that's why it's not just about the reciting lines. You also need to have to understand like the principles, the structure. And if you have the verbal systems, if you have the structure, you're going to be able to have predictability in your results. You're going to be able to have consistency as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. And these are not pickup lines, as I said. I don't want you to recite like a parrot, right? Most guys, they just recite lines like a robot, right? But instead, you want to know the communication principles behind them, so you can generate your own lines 24/7, because you're like a chess player. I want you guys to become like a chess player. I want you guys to know moves ahead, what to say, because you understand the psychology behind the moves. Okay, so that's one thing, and that's one thing we say. Okay, that's one thing we teach. Sorry. So these high status communication skills that you're going to learn with women, like those verbal systems, etc., are also going to be very useful in business. Most of these skills that I've learned with women, like the seduction skills and all of that, I've been able to use them also in my business or in sales or negotiating deals. Like, it's really about having that $1 million mouthpiece. Like, once you're able to understand the communication principles and the psychology and the influence and persuasion principles, like, you're going to be able to influence other men as well, like your bankers, your lawyers, your friends, prospects, right? Because if you can influence and persuade high quality women consistently, well, you're also going to be able to influence, as I said, prospects, bankers, etc. Right? So those are fundamental to master. I want you guys to master that, and I'm going to show you how in the end. Okay. Now, the second thing is online systems, right? So you have the cold approach and the verbal systems and all of that. So that's real seduction, like being able to walk up to any girl, being able to know what to say and how to say it. I'm going to show you how to do it. But then the second step, the second system, as we saw here, right? Let me come back to the navigation here. As we saw here, sorry, the second step is online. So now I told you the importance of like cold approach and those two systems, but then you have the online one. So I'm going to show you what that means. So the online one basically is going to be, as I said, with Instagram, because most of these dating apps that you see, they're kind of overrated. Like these dating apps, I mean, Bumble and all of that, they're overrated and they're saturated. They're saturated because women are getting DM'd and they're getting messaged by tons of guys, and literally it's unfair. Like the competition is clearly unfair. There's been a statistics, like there's 4 times more men on dating apps than there are women. So it's just skewed, so it's crazy. So nowadays, if you don't have a strong online presence on top of cold approach, especially with Instagram, and if you don't have a social circle that brings you new women, you're going to lose compared to the guy who does, right? You have to understand that. Okay, you're going to waste a lot of your time and you're going to end up with lower quality women. Okay, do you really think that you're going to get the highest quality women on Tinder or on Bumble? Obviously, no. The best women are in the best venues in your city. They're in the best social circles. They're on Instagram, like the highest quality ones. Now on Tinder you can find like some hookup. You can hook up with a few girls. You can do that, but it's for peasants. Like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Badoo. That's for peasants, right? Instagram is the real deal. Instagram is where celebrities are. It's where people of influence DM each other, right? Instagram is where you can showcase your lifestyle, etc. Right? So Instagram is truly the best networking app, and you can use it for business too. That's the thing. So even if you want to, grow your personal brand someday, so maybe some of you guys want to build a business, right? If you want to build a business, well, Instagram is going to be useful too. So not only is it going to be useful for dating, for social circle, but also for business. I use Instagram for the 3 of those, So that's one thing. And you don't need to have thousands of followers or be famous, or you don't need to be rich. You don't need to have crazy looks, etc. You can find women and you can set up your profile properly. You can, basically DM them the proper way, as I'm going to show you like the texting scripts and how to do that. And then you're going to be able to get dates, So there's 3 things you need. You need the right profile setup. Okay. You need the system. There's a system to find girls in your city and text them. And then you need to be able to conduct the whole process properly, because there's kind of a process to do that. But I'm going to show you how to do it. But this is how my DMs look like, as I showed you, and it's like that because I've worked on this. I've worked on this system personally. Okay, so who here wants me to show him, how to find girls on Instagram in their city? This is exclusive to this webinar because I want to give you as much value as I can. So who here say yes if you want me to show you how to find women on Instagram? Yeah? Okay. So Giuseppe says yes, Brian yes, Antonio yes, more yeses, guys, more yeses. Okay, do, yeah. Okay, perfect. So where? Okay, I'm gonna pick one guy. Okay, because I can't do this for everybody. I'm gonna pick one guy to pick a city, just to pick a city and to find girls in his city. So give me guys your city. I'm just gonna pick one guys. I'm sorry I can't do this for everybody. So Paris. Okay, amazing. Juan, Paris. I'm sorry guys if it's not your city. I'm gonna put Paris. Okay. So let's go on Instagram. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, I'm literally gonna go on Instagram right now live. Okay, this is something that nobody does on webinar. Most people, they're gonna just do slides and just some theory and stuff. But I'm gonna show you live, pragmatically, how to do it. Do you guys see Instagram now? Do you guys see how my feed on Instagram? Let me know. Yes. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna choose Paris. I'm sorry, this is the first guy who mentioned it. Okay. So I'm going to choose Paris, okay? So if you're in Paris, let's say, and you can do this for your city, by the way. If you're in Paris and you want to find women in Paris, well, first of all, you want to go to the magnifying glass. You want to go to the magnifying glass at the bottom, and you want to go to the search bar, okay? You go to the search bar, and then you go to places, okay? So you want to go to the magnifying glass on the search bar, and then you want to go to places, and then there's two targeting ways, okay? There's the broad targeting. So you're going to target, for example, a whole city, or there's the narrow targeting. So you can target like the whole city, like Paris, or you can go narrow and you can target, for example, a bar or a specific location. Now, what I recommend, guys, is always go narrow, because if you go broad, let's go broad. Let me put Paris right now, and you're going to see why. So if I put Paris, okay, let's say this is Ville de Paris in French, means like city of Paris. Okay, I'm going to click this. I'm French, by the way. And you're gonna find some girls, but you can find some girls, but for example, this girl like Laura, but it's gonna be like top creators. It's gonna be like girls with like 60K, stuff like that. Unless you go to recent. If you go to recent, you can find people who took a picture literally right now. Like you can find women who tagged themselves recently, but it's very mainstream, right? The best is to find women through a location, like a narrow thing. So I was actually living in Paris. So for example, there's a club in Paris called L'Arc. Okay, one of the best clubs in Paris. I recommend going there if you're in Paris. You can literally type in L'Arc in Paris, and you can find dozens of women who are in Paris right now and who are partying in Paris and who are from Paris. So for example, let's take her. Okay, Sophie. Okay, Sophie Smith, whatever. Okay, this is a girl that I would personally date, right? So I would just go on her profile. I can even, by the way, I'm going to show you another trick. This is a bonus from me. You can save women in a collection on Instagram. So I don't know if you saw what I did here. I clicked basically the bookmark. There's a bookmark at the bottom. You can actually save women in a collection and make a collection of women in your city. So I have a collection already, Women Paris here. I think it's where is it? Women. I have women from all cities. I mean, I have women Tallinn, women Vienna, and this is actually my second Instagram, because my main Instagram, that's where the shit is. But this is my second one, because I have two Instagrams, by the way. I have one with 60K and one with 6K. You can follow me on both. But you can create a collection, Women Paris, okay? And then you can save her in a collection, literally. And then you have women saved in a collection in your city, and you're able to refer to them later. And I'm going to show you why this is important later. But that's something you can do. And then from this, you can just DM her. Like you can literally message her. So I'm going to message her live in front of you. Okay, so I'm going to message her. And by the way, another thing I'm going to give out, my opener. Do you guys want to know what's my opener? Like literally, what's my opener? I'm going to tell you right now. It's her name. Yes, it is her name. And I'm not even joking. Like my opener is her name. That's it. If her name is Sophie, Sophie. If her name is Sarah, Sarah. If her name is Laura, Laura. And you'll see that this opener is the most powerful opener in the world, because it's so simple, so intriguing, so low investment, then any girl who's going to see this, especially if your profile is optimized like mine, right? Any girl who's going to see this, she's going to be like, okay, well, why is he texting me? Okay, let's reply to him. And I can bet you that she's going to reply to me and she's going to say, oh, yes. She's going to say yes or something like that, right? And she's going to reply to me. I can do this with another girl. So let's take another location in Paris. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to clear this. By the way, this is a special app in my computer called BlueStacks. If you want to DM girls on your computer, you can do so with an app called BlueStacks. But let's take another city, actually. Let's make this more interesting. Okay. Let's take another city. Let me take Let me take a city that's interesting. Let me take Toronto. Okay, let's take Toronto. So I don't know many clubs in Toronto. Okay, but you can go like broad targeting. So give me a club in Toronto. The person who said Toronto, give me a club in Toronto. Okay, just give me one. Give me a club in Toronto, and I will do it. Okay. So you can go to broad targeting like Toronto, Ontario, and then you can find women like this, but it's not good because it's too broad, right? So you don't want to do this. Ideally, you want to be more targeted. Okay, Rebel. Okay, amazing. Rebel. Okay, Rebel. Let's take Rebel. I know actually Rebel, I heard of it. So Rebel, Toronto, okay. And I can guarantee you we're gonna find plenty of women. So you can find plenty of women already, but yeah, I mean, it's not like Lark, because Lark is actually higher, it's a better venue, but that's okay, you can find plenty. So as you can see, you find plenty of girls who are in Toronto. Let's say I want to take this girl, Megan, whatever, okay? And I will just DM her, okay? I mean, she apparently has a boyfriend, as I can see here, but so you want to check if they have a boyfriend or not. But if they don't, then you should just DM them. So let's take a girl that's more attractive than this, because I mean, this is not the best club. You want to find like the best club in your city, because I think there's better clubs than Rebel. But let's say I want to take this girl, okay, Alika, whatever, okay, Alia, okay. Now she's not super hot, but you see she's in Toronto. I can just DM her, same thing. I can like send her Alia. That's it, sent. You know, bam. And I can do this with like 10, 15 girls. And I guarantee you, if you have the right profile, if you have the right system, as I'm going to teach you, like you're going to be able to have dates consistently with the right script. Okay. So that's one way of finding women. Now there's other ways. I'm only going to share one way here, but there's actually 4 other ways to find women on Instagram. This is like the easiest for you guys, for the audience, like the really like the easy way. But there's plenty of ways. You can even find women through Tinder. Like if you're using Tinder, you can go on Tinder. Plenty of women are going to put their Instagram on Tinder, and you can grab their Instagram and DM them directly on Instagram instead of matching with them. See what I mean? So you can do many things. Okay. And then the last pillar is social circle. Social circle. I mean, as I said, you want to build a social circle in your city, because if you don't, then you're always going to be that loner guy who doesn't have any friends, who doesn't have a network, who doesn't have any female friends, and you're going to be left, you know, with the crumbs. So you want to have a social circle that allows you to build a powerful entourage, right? An entourage of people, a network, right? You want to infiltrate the high status social circles in your city. You want to build long-term connections with people, right? I'm going to tell you something. You can either have a top-down approach, or you can have a bottom-up approach to dating, right? And what I recommend is always having a top-down approach, because a bottom-up approach is running around the mall, harassing poor innocent women, spending 3 hours a day on Snapchat and Tinder, praying to get a match, and all of that. That's a bottom-up approach. A top-down approach is having a cool social circle, having female friends, connections, organizing parties, having a great Instagram that allows you to leverage your online presence to save time. Like all of that, that's a top-down approach. So do you want to go the bottom up and always be at the bottom, always start from zero? Because if you don't build a social circle, you're always going to start from zero. You're always going to have to approach women all the time, etc. But if you have a social circle, it starts working for you. You can meet women passively through your social circle that you build, through the events you're invited to, etc. You see what I mean? So that's more powerful in the long run, to build a social circle, right? So I want you guys to not be too short-sighted. Most guys are too short-sighted. I want you guys to build a true social circle at some point and build connections in your city. Okay, so I want you guys to be that way. Okay, and when I show up in a nightclub with 4 female friends, well, I can tell you that it's way more easier than going to a nightclub by myself with 2 guys and trying to get girls. Okay, when you have the pre-selection, when you have female friends, when you have a social circle, it's way easier. Okay, so that's why I want you guys to build your social circle in the long run. Now, there's only 5 things that matter for your dating success starting now. The first thing is to build your sexual market value over time. As we said, you're a product in the sexual market. You need to work on hiring your value. The second thing is you want to strengthen your frame, your vision, your understanding of female psychology, of your own psychology. We've covered the Know Thyself mission. You want to constantly think, like, what kind of man am I? What kind of life do I want to live? What kind of woman do I want to have part of my life? And what is my real vision, my real goal, right? And like try to really develop your identity. And then 3 is approaching women, DMing women, all of that, talking to women. That's important. And then 4, sorry, there's 2 times 4. 4, getting dates and instant dates. And then 5 is growing your social circle. If you engage in those actions, like if you build your market value over time, your sexual market value, if you strengthen your frame, if you approach and DM girls consistently with the right systems, if you're able to get dates and instant dates and pull them home, if you grow your social circle and expand your network, well, you're going to have an abundance of options. But to do that, you need to practice those right systems. So you're only one decision away from changing your life forever. Like if you make that decision, if you make the decision to commit to your success with women for the next few months, you're gonna have more women than you need, right? You're gonna have more options and more choice than 99% of men, right? And this is really the triangle of elite success with women. This is like a triangle. The first at the top, the first part of the triangle is a high value lifestyle, a high sexual market value, and having good cold approach skills and seduction skills. The second thing is strong online presence, and the third thing is like a social circle. And those are the main systems that you really want to develop long term and that you want to have. So we arrive at a point in the webinar where I want to ask you, first of all, like, are you getting value from this webinar so far? Okay, because I'm going to share some more stuff with you. But first of all, like, are you happy you came to this session today so far? Are you happy you learned more about what you need to do, had more epiphanies? Do you feel more comfortable now with what systems you need to put in place? Do you realize the advantage you have over guys who don't even know this? Like, you know, even if you just use a portion of what I shared, like, you know, our time together is well spent, right? So are you guys happy that you came? Okay, awesome value, great truth. I have general idea of what to do, how to do it. Okay, awesome. Would you like to hear more now? Would you like to hear like how we can go further together and 10x your results with women as fast as possible? Would you like to hear that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear that. Okay. Yes, please. Of course. Juan says, okay, awesome. Perfect. So I'm going to show you now how we can do that, how to get there fast, because most guys, like they want to walk the minefield blind. Like that's the first option you have now, is walk the minefield blind. Like try to do it just by yourself without any proper training, without any feedback, at the expense of results and time. Most guys, they want to do it in isolation, without any support, without any community, nothing. And what ends up happening is they lose out on a ton of girls, you know, or their dream partner. Now, the real ballers, like the real guys who are going to be successful with this, well, they're going to give themselves every advantage possible, like I did. Like I remember, I showed you guys the first time I invested in my first bootcamp, I was in the red, you know, and I still invested in myself because I knew it would pay off, and it paid off because I'm here now teaching this. You see what I mean? And then getting accountability, getting support, etc. Most guys who are good at this, they have a good accountability system. They have wingmen, they have a good network, etc. And they end up saving lives and years. And they can start, you know, dating their dream woman doing that. So today, you're only one decision away from changing your dating life forever. Either you walk the minefield blind, or you get a proven system, right? It's either one or the other. Now, how old are you right now? Let me know in the comments. I want to get a taste of the age range. How old are you right now? Mustafa 20, Brian 37, 20, 25, 26. Okay, so yeah, we have like most guys are in their 30s, some in their 50s. Okay, so here's the sad reality, guys. I'm going to give you the sad reality. Like, you know, you don't have as much time as you want. Like, you know, we're 25 and then 50 and then 65 and then you're dead. You know, how many, like, you know, if you live till 80 years old, if you live till 80, you have like around, you know, you have around 900 months, right? So those red blocks, this is the time that you've already spent, you know, that time, right? So maybe right now you're in your 30s and you've spent half of your life already. So this is all you have left. Those are those red blocks. You see what I mean? Like you have to understand that you don't have all your time. You know, you have what's left of it, and that's very important to understand. So I want to introduce you now, if you want to go further with me, to the Dating Accelerator version 2.0. And this is really going to be life-changing for you if you really want to get successful. Because in this program, basically, we're going to cover the whole steps, the whole transformation. So if right now you have no dating life, maybe you're relying on luck, maybe you have a beginner skill set, maybe you have very few women, maybe you have low-quality women, maybe you have an average lifestyle, and you want to get to the point where you have an abundant dating life, you have predictable systems, you're able to date 3+ women per month, you have high quality women, etc. Well, the dating accelerator is for you. So how this works basically is you're going to get access to a course, to a full system basically in our members portal with 50 hours plus of content. Those are videos, and every week we're going to tackle specific systems. So for example, in week 1, we're going to cover the Playboy reality, how to actually, like, what are some of the foundations of female psychology, and what are some of the core understandings that you need to understand so that you're able to position yourself as a top-tier man in the sexual marketplace. How to weaponize your attention. As I told you, your attention is your currency as a man. If you don't learn how to weaponize your attention, you're fucked. You need to learn how to weaponize it. Then week 2, we're going to learn how to craft a new character, how to master your dark forces, how to transform your identity so you can become the type of man who is successful with women consistently. And I'm going to show you how to really reverse engineer your success and avoid those dating blunders that we've talked about. You see those dating blunders that we talked about in the beginning? Well, I'm going to show you how to avoid them and how to actually get success without wasting your time. Now, week 3, we're going to cover the bulletproof approach system. So we're going to cover the full system from A to Z, how to approach women the right way, exactly what to say, how to say to get a date consistently. We're also going to cover body language, charisma, style, how to really emanate, conviction and certainty with people and with women, right? In week 4, we're going to cover the alchemy of women attraction. So we're going to cover basically exactly from open to close, what to say to women, exactly the whole verbal system, from the frame to how to demonstrate high value, exactly how to flirt, escalate, sexualize, everything, right? And this is how one of my clients, Arlan, for example, he's been able to hook up like same day with one of his dream girls, because of this, because of the understandings of week 4. Same thing on week 5, we're going to cover how to close the deal consistently. And this is how you're going to be able to like pull women home from the get-go. Like, let's say you go to a bar or to a club. Well, in week 5, I'm going to show you how to conduct your night so that by the end of the night, you can pull women home. You see what I mean? You can basically go on a date with a girl and you're able to bring her home first night without waiting for like 2, 3, 4 days. So I'm going to show you how to close consistently. I'm going to show you how to conduct your night whenever you go out, or how to conduct your dates. And this is going to allow you to have incredible threesomes. Like, as you can see, like if you want to have threesomes and dates, and you want to have, let's say you want to have sex with like 5 girls a month. Well, this is going to solve the problem. I'm going to show you the whole blueprint, everything, right? Week 6, we're going to cover the online system. So I'm going to show you exactly what profile, how you can rebuild your profile, exactly how to funnel girls into your profile, what to text them, and how to get dates consistently in week 6. Week 7, we're going to cover relationships mastery. So I'm going to cover how to basically have amazing relationships long-term with women, how to retain them. Because it's one thing to obtain women, but it's another thing to retain women. So I'm going to show you how to retain them long-term and all of that. I'm also going to show you basically a lot of things about masculinity. Like, if you want to develop your masculine polarity and your retention skills, this is going to be incredible for you. Honestly, this is going to be life-changing in terms of long-term relationships with women. And then week 8, we're going to cover social circle and networking. So we're going to cover exactly how to bootstrap your social circle, how to, have an amazing lifestyle filled with quality women. And this is how one of my clients, he's been able to organize like a photo shoot with plenty of models, and he's been able to hook up with one of the hottest girls he's been with. Same thing with, this is one of my clients, Lucas. He was able to organize his first social circle party, and now he has tons of friends in his city. You see what I mean? So I'm going to show you how to do that, everything. I'm going to show you literally everything you need to know. Like, this is honestly the last thing you need, because after this, you're going to have all the systems, you're going to have all the blueprints, all the resources to be successful. Also, you're going to be able to get on weekly accountability calls with me. So not only do you have the course with the members area, but you can also jump on weekly accountability calls, as you can see in the picture. And so I'm going to answer your questions every week, hold you accountable every week, expand on some deeper nuances. And this is going to really transform your game, your seduction skills, etc. Because you can ask me questions and then I can give you feedback. It's not just a course where you watch videos and then you're left with nothing. No, you're able to speak to me directly every week. That's incredible. So to sum up, you're going to learn exactly from A to Z how to position yourself as a top-tier man, how to understand female psychology, all the systems to attract and date women, how to retain women, how to systemize everything, and how to build a high-status social circle. And this is how Ayman went from 3 dates a year to 3 dates a month. This is how, Lars, he went from heartbroken to literally a playboy, like five He was, at some point, he was having like 5 dates a week, this guy. Then you can see even in the group, we get success stories all the time, like 3 days lined up, threesome, 3 days, 3 days, all the time. Like my clients are getting 3 dates a week consistently. This guy, he was in his 50s. He's a single father, right? He's divorced, and he's been able to go from divorced and depressed to getting like a beautiful girlfriend as well. Now, if you had to hire a professional dating coach, like if you look on Google, the cost of a dating coach, it will literally cost you $13,000 for long-term projects like these. Like honestly, if you would hire an average dating coach per year, it would cost you around $13,000, or between anywhere from $5,000 to $50K per year, which is it's pretty high. We can agree on that. But I'm gonna show you a way, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity that's honestly gonna be a steal. Honestly. Now I'm gonna give you some bonus too. So bonus number one is you're gonna get Higher Self Mastery. So Higher Self Mastery is a full course with over 60 modules on health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality. So literally, not only are we going to transform your dating life with the dating accelerator, if I come back here, like the dating accelerator is the full course. So we're going to transform your dating life with that. But on top of that, on top of the 8 weeks and all of that, you're going to get access to Higher Self Mastery, which is the full program on health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality. We have over 60 videos and more than 30 PDFs with everything you need on health, habits, peak performance, everything. So this is not only going to change your dating life, but this is going to change your health, your spirituality, your money-making abilities, right? And this is how my clients are getting results, because they have a holistic approach too. It's not just about the women. It's also about the money. It's also about the health. They want to be full stack, right? And I have so many success stories. I can't really share them with you all. But then bonus number 3, sorry, not bonus number 1. Bonus number 3, on top of all these bonuses, is you're going to get lifetime access to the circle. Now, what is the circle? It's basically my private mastermind group. So we have guys from all over the world inside my mastermind group. So it's a Telegram group on Telegram. So it's a group on Telegram, and we talk every day. We talk about business. We talk about money. We talk about networking, lifestyle. And so you're going to be able to have wingmen all over the world. And on top of that, you get a private members area for the circle, and we have monthly members only calls. So not only do you get the dating accelerator with 50 hours plus of content in the 8 weeks, but you also get Higher Self Mastery, and you also get lifetime access to the circle with lifetime access to monthly calls and to the members area and to everything. So literally, like, you have everything. But this is not it. You also get a 12-month access to weekly accountability calls on top of the calls you already have. So I'm gonna give you like the opportunity to speak to me every week as well, right? So you have literally everything. So to sum up, here's what you get: 8 weeks of guided coaching through the whole system, the Dating Accelerator, weekly action items, step by step, lifetime access to the Circle Mastermind, lifetime access to the course, future updates. You have all the bonuses that I mentioned, like the weekly accountability calls. You have Higher Self Mastery as well. You're able to, master your health, your spirituality, money. So you're able to master all of that. And instead of being, and if you had to take all of that, that's like 13,797 euros in value. That's literally what it is, the value you get, all of these things. But what I'm going to do today is, instead of that, instead of 13,000, today's price only is going to be $997 only. And it's going to be $997 only for the people in this call. And I'm going to be able to help you personally. And really, we're going to be able to skyrocket your dating life by 2023. You can literally start today for $997 only. Okay, and I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to drop like a special link for you guys to do this. But basically, first of all, I want to mention something. There's also going to be, like, if you, let's say you struggle with money a little bit or whatever, I'm also going to exclusively give you access to some payment plans that are going to be like crazy. So you can actually do it in, you can actually do it, 1 second, I just stopped my screen. You can actually do it in 2 times or 3 times as well if you struggle. So 1 second, let me come back to the presentation. So I just dropped a special link in the chat, okay? This is a special link that I just dropped in the chat. Check out the chat, okay? Go.higherselfcircle.com/system, or you can go.higherselfcircle.com/special, okay? You can actually pay in 2 times, 3 times, whatever. And that way you can get in with us. You can get inside the circle. You can start changing your dating life without, relying on some gimmicks, without doing some bullshit. and I'm going to show you everything, really. And I'm going to hold you accountable for sure. And for the people who actually joined today, I'm also going to give you other bonuses on top of that. I'm going to give you my books. I'm going to give you everything. Can you pay in 5 times? You could privately maybe reach out to me, but honestly, no. I mean, ideally you pay in 3 times, brother, because yeah, you can only pay in 3 times usually. But if you really struggle, reach out to me and we can make it up. So Edgar already signed up, yeah, but for the you signed up for the mentoring. So there's a difference. So the mentoring, you get actually more of that, but this is like the course and the bonuses. So Edgar, you're good. Edgar, don't worry. We're gonna start literally tomorrow, the mentoring. And that's another thing. But if you wanted to have the course before, it would cost you way more. But now you get all the bonuses, all the course, everything for way less. You see what I mean? So Edgar, yourself, I mean, you're a VIP client. But for those who like they have maybe less means or whatever, this is really like the most affordable you can get those things. And honestly, like the data accelerator, with all these bonuses, with all the accountability, with the higher self-mastery, with everything, I mean, this is going to give you no chances of failing, to be honest. If you actually sign up today, like I guarantee you that you are going to win. And I'm actually going to put another guarantee. Let me state this, another guarantee. If you buy the program and you don't like it after 30 days, I will give you a full refund. I state this publicly because I don't need your money. I'm fortunate enough that if I had to stop working now, and I would make some wise investments, like let's say I invest all my money into some cool things or into some high return thing, I could stop working for the rest of my life. So I don't need your money. You have to understand that. Like $9.97, what is that going to do? Maybe I'm gonna buy I don't know, like some fucking some shoes or whatever. You see what I mean? But like this is for you. This is literally for you to get to the next level. And I wish someone gave me this opportunity before that. I wish someone gave me that opportunity to change this like you guys did and with the right systems. And what's money good for anyways, right? Because this money that you're going to spend, like this money, the $9.97, you're going to spend it anyways in the next 12 months. In fact, not only is it going to be spent, but you're also going to buy the program. Let me explain. You're going to buy the program whether you know it or not. The question is not, are you going to buy the program? Because you're going to buy it. The question is whether you're going to pay for it with money or you're going to pay for it with time. Because in life, you can either pay with money or with time. So you're going to pay for the program either with money now or with time. And you can choose, do you want to lose, years? It took me 8 years to figure everything out. Or do you want to learn everything in 8 weeks? That's the choice you have to make. Do you want to like really win starting this year, and I'm giving you like plenty of payment plans, etc.? Or do you want to wait again another year, another thing, right? Because as I said, the truth in life is you either pay with time or with money. And knowing that money is replenishable, but time isn't, the answer should be clear to you, right? So honestly, I mean, the reason I've been able to move so quickly through life, like the reason why I'm at a spot that I am, is because I'm consistently buying other people's mistakes. Like the first time I invested in that bootcamp, I bought that coach's mistakes, right? Like I bought his mistakes, right? And that's the only way you can buy time, is by buying other people's mistakes. So what I want today, the decision I want you to make is, are you gonna buy all my mistakes and the mistakes of my mentors, or are you gonna try to waste your time and go on YouTube, go on some bullshit TikTok videos and go read some bullshit script pickup line and try to figure it out? Or do you really want to have the full system? Okay. And I can't decide that for you. Ultimately, you're going to have to make that decision, whether you want to save money or you want to save years of your life. That's on you, right? But you're going to have to make the decision. And in our world, let me tell you something. In our world, price is a filter. And it's absolutely a filter because it's a cover charge to be able to access the right type of people. Like the circle, if you wanted to access the circle, like the circle only, just my mastermind group, it would cost you around 300 euros, like just the circle. But you can get it now as a bonus for free on top of all the other things you get. And that's like a cover charge to get in, because after that, you have lifetime access to a community, and the community is going to grow. And we're talking about business. We're talking about a lot of things, right? So that's what you need to answer. Like, how many red blocks till this is really solved? Like, do you want to solve this now, or do you want to solve this in years from now? That's really the question, guys. And the worst case scenario, if you take this program, is you're going to invest in yourself, you're going to skyrocket your dating life, you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to save you years of your life. And the best case scenario is you're going to do all of this, but also you're going to network with guys all over the world. You're going to potentially start a business or scale your business. You're going to be able to travel the world and meet wingmen. So really, you lose nothing. What are you going to lose by investing in yourself? Really, like you're gonna investing in yourself pays the best interest, really. And the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking any risks. That's Mark Zuckerberg that said this. Now, I'm not a fan of the guy, but he's right about that. Like in a world that is ever changing with the dating market as we know now, like the only risk you can take is taking no risk and keep doing the same thing. Really, you're going to waste so much time. And I wish I had the same opportunity as you guys. I really wish, so that's why I'm giving you this opportunity. Now, I know, I know I'm pitching you guys this, but I'm pitching you guys this because I can't help you in just 1 hour and a half. I can't help you in just 3 hours. As you 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, like the course has 50 hours of content. Like this is just a webinar, and I hope you learned a lot, and that's great. But I can't. I literally have to go to a party in like 15 minutes. So I can't be with you all the time. I have to do stuff. I have my life. I have some other things, right? So because of that, if you want to learn more, this is the only way. You have to invest in yourself. I wish I could do like a 30-hour webinar, but I can't. And if you want to learn more, this is the only way, guys. Really. Okay. So let's fucking crush it. Okay, you have nothing to lose. Today, you're going to make the best decision of your life today. And honestly, if you make that decision, you're going to thank yourself later. You're really going to thank yourself later, because by 2023, you are going to have all the tools. You're going to start dating women, and everything is going to come back on point. Even your health is going to be better. Your wealth, your psychology, your habits. Because inside Higher Self Mastery, we talk about health. We talk about nutrition. We talk about sleep. We talk about high performance, how to make great decisions in life. So it's not just about dating. You're going to improve every single aspect of your life. Okay. So that's one thing, guys. So I don't want to, keep reiterating the same thing and saying the same thing. But honestly, if you take me on this opportunity, you have nothing to risk, because I'm going to give you a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like the program, if you take the program with that special link, I'm going to put the link again. If you take the program with the special link, I just put the link in the chat again. Okay. If you take it, I will give you your money back if you don't like the program after 8 weeks, after 30 days, sorry, not 8 weeks. Really, like I'm really dead serious on that, because I want you to be satisfied, right? So honestly, if you take the program, I will do that for you. That way it lowers the risk. And honestly, I'm sure you're going to love the program. I'm really sure like this program is for you. If you stay till the end of this webinar, like if you stay till now, it means you're motivated. It means you're committed. It means you want to be part of the 1%. So this is for you, man. This is for you who want to be in the 1% and who really want to get to the next level fast. So do you guys have any questions? Let's do a Q&A about the webinar, about the program. Let's do a quick Q&A here, and then I'm going to wrap up. I have like literally 10 minutes, and then I have to go because it's 11 p.m. here, and I have to go now. Yes, so let me know soon. So Surojit says, can I register later in the month? Same offer. You can text me, Surojit, and yes, we can make something happen. Juan says, but honestly, no, the bonuses are just today. Like the bonuses, they're for today. But then you can register maybe later. Yeah. So then, okay, so let me show you the members area, because some of you are like, how long does it take to watch the videos, etc. And yes, we're going to send you an email. Marco, what do you mean by I'm going to send you an email or something? I didn't understand. I bet I made the purchase. Okay, till I can forget. Yeah, so you're going to receive an email. So if for you guys who made the purchase already, you're going to receive an email immediately, and you're going to get access to everything immediately. So check your emails. Can I register later in the month? Same offer for $9.97. Yes, but you won't get all the bonuses, and you won't get that guarantee. The guarantee and the bonuses, it's because you're in this webinar. So how long does it take to watch the videos? So each video, let me show you the members area. Okay, I'm going to show you the members area right now. So I'm going to show you live what you get inside the members area. So let's go inside the members area. Where is it? Let me put this. So I'm going to go inside the members area. Do you guys see the screen? I'm going to go inside the library. Okay, so 1 second, it's loading. So this is the library. Okay, once you log into to our platform at higherselfcircle.com, you're going to access the library of products. And then you're going to get access to, obviously, the dating accelerator, the circle membership, higher self mastery. You're going to get access to all of that. And if you view the product, okay, if you type on view product, you're going to be able to access the full course. Now, in the course, as I said, you have the 8 weeks. So you have the 8 weeks, and each week you have specific modules. Okay, you have specific modules, and you can click on one module. Let me click on, for example, sexual market supremacy. Let me click on this module, right? Well, you have a 54-minute video. Like this in itself is a 54-minute video, and you have like 6 videos per week for 8 weeks, right? So count that, right? Like count in terms of time. So it's very, very full. It's very precise. Like you have literally everything you need, really. So it's very deep, and every week you have resources too. So for example, this is the action items and resources section for week 1. In week 1, you have like 8 downloadable resources, like assessing your values, the know thyself mission, defining your whys, etc. The Playboy secrets thing. You have plenty of missions and stuff every single week, right? So it's very, very dense. Really, I mean, you have everything you need. So the bonuses again, Antonio, is you're going to get lifetime access to the circle, which is my mastermind group. We have guys all over the world, like a full network. You have also lifetime. You have 12 months access to accountability calls, so you can jump on accountability calls every week with me for 12 months. So for 12 months, you have an accountability call. It's a group call, by the way. It's not like a one-on-one. Otherwise, it would be hard for me to do all of those. But it's a group call, but an accountability call where I hold you accountable. And then you have higher self-mastery. So let me show you higher self-mastery because some of you might be curious. Let me go to higher self-mastery. Where is it? So this is higher self-mastery. This is a full program on health, on mindset and habits, on nutrition, on spirituality, on money. So you get access to all of those, like even like this whole course. This is a course that I made like a few years ago, but it's still valid. It's still valid like right now. It's the first course I've built with everything about health and habits, etc. So you have everything like higher self-mastery, the data accelerator, lifetime access to the circle, accountability calls. Really, I mean, you can't fail. And every week, let me show you, every week you get also some resources and sheets. So let me go to TDA mentoring. 1 second, the sheets. I'm going to show you. So every week you get plenty of PDFs and resources. 1 second, I'm going to show you now. Okay, Marco says, never got a link to the members area. In any of the emails, I've never got sent the link to the members area. Okay, I'm going to solve this just after the call, Marco, but you should have got it. Check because we have an automation. And so as soon as you pay, basically, there's something that unlocks and grants you access to everything. So you get access to everything. So check maybe your spam, check everything. Otherwise, I'm going to give you literally access after the call when I see that you've made it. But basically, just before I wrap up the call, you get access to plenty of resources. So these are the resources of week 1. Then you get resources in week 2, right? Then you get resources in week 3, right? As well, you get plenty of resources there. Week 3, you get body language mastery, bulletproof approach system, all of that. Week 4, you get plenty of resources. So every week you get literally like almost like books, books and PDFs and notes. You get everything. Okay, Marco, I'm gonna help you with all of that. It's weird. Put your email, Marco. I'll help you with all of that, but you should receive everything right away. Did you actually land on a success page? Like, did you when you made the payment, you should land on a success page, and then you receive all the. Okay, perfect. Then you're good. Then you will receive everything right now, and I will send you all of that. So Tommy says, what do you say after you message her name on Instagram? Usually, after I message her name, I ask her her city ? So if I'm in Paris, I'm going to ask Paris ? If I'm in New York, I'm going to ask New York ? And the reason why is because I want to figure out if she's in my city or not, or if she's far away. Because I don't want to talk to women who are far away from me. I want to talk to women who are near my city, like that. I want to talk to women who are here. You see what I mean? So that's why I ask, first of all, like, are you here? Like, are you in Italian? Are you in Paris? And then after that, I have my system that I teach. Okay. So Brian says, great webinar, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. That's a private message, but thank you for the private message. How is it possible to digest all this information? Can it be overwhelming with the books, videos, Zoom calls? Yeah, it can be, obviously, I mean, I give you guys plenty of time to digest it. You're going to have the time to digest it. Honestly, you have 8 weeks. You have lifetime access to the program, guys. So once you're in the program, you have lifetime access to digest it. And during the 8 weeks, I'm going to give you specific actions and missions that are going to allow you to take the proper action without wasting time. So yeah. Post the webinar on my IG. Okay, thank you, Kshitij. By the way, guys, if you post the webinar on your IG story and you tag me, I will give you Playboy secrets for free. So if you take a picture right now of the webinar and you say, like, for example, let's say you say, oh, amazing webinar with Limo, and you tag me, right? I will repost it and I will give you my book Playboy secrets for free, literally for free. So do this and I will do it for free. And Marco, I hope this is solved. Let me know if it's solved, Marco, yet. Otherwise, I'm going to send you an email right away. And here's the resources, guys. I just sent you all the resources in that Google Drive. You can go grab the free resources. If you didn't get them, send me a message on Facebook, on Instagram. I will send you the Google Drive. And if you tag me on Instagram, I will give you my book, Playboy Secrets, for free. Okay, this is my full book that I sell. And I will give it to you for free if you tag me for the webinar. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Juan. Jay says, what do you do when the girl is quiet, waiting for you to kiss her, but you don't totally feel ready? Well, usually when you have that level of tension with a girl, that's the best sign that you should kiss her. Like when you're not sure, like if you're not sure whether you should kiss her or not, and you feel a tension, that's the best sign that you should make a move. And worst case, she's gonna turn her cheeks, sorry, and you can retry later after you talk more. But there's a way I teach inside the dating accelerator to kiss women properly and to sexualize properly. But yeah, you can tag, yeah, Julian, you can tag the 60K account or you can tag the 6K account. Both are great. Marco says, hey, I messaged you on Messenger. Yeah, Marco, I'm gonna basically solve every problem you have with everything. So let me log out and I'm gonna speak to you directly. Okay, so Tommy says, can you post the Instagram link to where I can post the review? Which review, man? It's not a review. It's basically a photo of you tagging us on the webinar and tagging me in the story. But the Instagram is this one. Instagram, oh, one second. Instagram.com/Limo Oueslati. Okay, Instagram.com/Limo Oueslati. That's my Instagram. And you can tag the 60K one. You can tag the 6K one. Okay, this is my official one. Okay, 60K. But then you can also tag the one with 6K. Okay, and as you can see, I walk the talk. My Instagram is optimized. I'm not one of those coaches that tells you all about Instagram, but has like 1K followers and 3 pictures. Okay, like I worked on this for years, so I know what I'm doing. And I know how to leverage the algorithms too to get many followers, so I can show you many things about that. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julian, Andre, Tommy, Mustafa, Patrick, Maine, Marco, Mohammed. Thank you so much for participating. All of you guys, I love you all. Without you, that wouldn't have been possible. So thank you so much for everything. Thanks again. Maine, I hope you're going to make it for the dating accelerator. Literally, you have the option to do it in 2 times, 3 times, and really the risk is lowered because you have a money back guarantee, and I'll welcome you inside the circle personally. Julian says, why do you have 2 Instagrams? Because one was my personal one in the beginning, and I had another one which was because you see the one with 60K, that was actually a page I was managing. If you scroll below, you'll see that it was like quotes before. Before I was like just posting quotes, and then I turned it into a personal one. So at first it was a non-personal one, just like a quotes page, and then I turned it into a personal one to have 2 Instagrams to be able to DM 2 times more girls and 2 times more prospects and have more influence, So that's why I have 2 Instagrams. So see you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Here's the link if you want to sign up. Here's the link again. Go.harrissalzorgle.com/special. You can do it in 2 times, 3 times, 30-day money back guarantee. You get access to higher self mastery, to weekly calls, to all the bonuses, everything really. So let's crush it. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain, and you're one decision away from dating the woman you've always wanted. Like, you're literally one decision away from dating girls consistently and having the success you want. You just need to take the leap of faith, do it, and let's crush it. So see you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.